Hey guys, in this video I want to talk about what happened with Wesley Vissers and Ramon Dino at the 2024 Classic Physique prejudging. I'm sure many of you, including myself, had Ramon and Wesley in a firm, yet interchangeable second and third, with the potential to even take out Chris Bumstead and win the Olympia. That was obviously not the case, with neither even making it into the final callout. It does seem as if Ramon will be battling it out for 4th place, with Wesley somewhere in that 7th or even 8th place spot, which is actually crazy. What do you guys think went wrong with these two? Let me know in the comments down below and let's get into it. Alright, let's start off with Ramon, the man who's placed 2nd at the Olympia for the last 2 years. I think that this picture here really captures what went wrong with him. I mean, he was sweating like crazy during the initial callouts, and his spray tan really messed him up big time. You can see it dripping down his entire lower back, and I guarantee you that it washed out a lot of detail. Sweating and any real sign of difficulty posing on stage are signs of weaknesses, and I don't really think they fare well with the judges, so I would assume they penalized him for this. With all that said, looking at this footage of Ramon shows you that he wasn't really noticeably off in any way when it came to the conditioning or fullness, bringing, in my opinion, a better package than the Arnold 2024. He was shredded everywhere and has some of the best proportions and shape in the business, so I can see how he likely would place 4th, even with these flaws. I don't necessarily think that he should have been left out of that final callout, since I find him to be better than everyone in his second callout, and he probably could have pushed and potentially beaten Mike Summerfield. Well, I should say beat because we're not sure yet. Regardless, I do think that Ramon definitely suffered from that watery, runny tan due to his sweating, and that showed on stage and in his perceived placings. Although the reasoning for Ramon's placing was somewhat straightforward, Wesley potentially placing so low is what really caught me the most off guard. Look, with Ramon, he's fighting a weight cap and is unlikely to come in significantly bigger in any area. However, with Wesley, we were all expecting something crazy. I mean, he was speaking about how Ramon would never beat him again, and how he would challenge and push Chris like crazy. While these are all pretty valid statements relative to the past placings, and obviously, I mean, he won the Arnold Classic Ohio and the one in the UK, I do think that something really went wrong with Wesley's peak. He somehow managed to look really ripped and shredded in certain areas at certain times, but in other poses he looked a bit softer and spilled over, as if he was a little bit too full. I noticed this the most in the front double, especially in his upper body, and compared to his quads, his chest, arms, lats, and even torso looked the slightest bit off. It's really hard to see, however, when the competition is so close, it makes sense that the judges wanted to penalize him for something so small and seemingly insignificant. From behind, though, Wesley's lack of conditioning in the lower body was really exposed, especially when standing next to a guy like Michael DeBoule, who is known for having some of the most shredded hamstrings and glutes. You know, his glutes and hamstrings looked extremely washed out and under-detailed, and his lack of size in these areas only compounded upon these weaknesses. I do think that he should have gotten, a longer comparison with Chris for the fans' sake at least, since he is one of the most imposing physiques on that stage, and of course the reigning Arnold Classic champion. However, that doesn't really say anything about his condition, since it obviously wasn't at 100%. Now, I actually saw this on his story that he was eating a pretty sizable amount of carbs prior to the show, most likely in an attempt to come in big and full while retaining his incredible condition. I'd say that this is, the explanation as to why he spilled over ever so slightly, since he probably had too many carbs and wasn't able to peak 100%. Now, I'm no expert on the peaking side of bodybuilding, so let me know down below in the comments if you have any ideas. Anyways, I'm generally disappointed in Wesley and Ramon because, as a fan, I wanted to see them be right there next to Chris. While we got a really good show so far, and an extremely exciting one at that, I'm sure Wesley and Ramon fans out there are really disappointed as I am. Do let me know in the comments down below what you think of these upsets, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.